Hi, folk. Today I want to speak to you and encourage you around habits. We all have good and bad habits, particularly during this isolation. There's hopefully some new habits that you've formed and are sticking to, and some of the old habits as well. You know, people don't decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. And I want to look at Daniel, who's an Old Testament prophet, and look at some of his habits that were set in stone that actually set him up for success. You know, Daniel lived in lockdown with three of his mates, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in a place called Babylon, and they were exiled in Babylon and had to make the best do. But Daniel was set up for success because of his incredible habits. You know, Paul says in Romans 15 verse 4, he says, whatever things were written before were written for our learning, that we through the patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. You know, God uses Daniel, this prayerful man, with the gift of interpretation of dreams to help disciple a nation. Daniel 6 verse 10 says, now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went home, and in his upper room with his windows open towards Jerusalem, he got down on his knees 3 times that day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom since his early days. Very good habit he had. His habit, Daniel's habit of daily prayer, set up 2 appointments for him. One, of course, on a daily basis with the King of Kings that Daniel refers to as the Ancient of Days. I love that name of Jesus. And also, eventually an appointment with the King of Babylon, a guy called Nebuchadnezzar. His daily appointment with God set him up for this appointment, and the king, on meeting Daniel, says this. Daniel, he says, I've heard of you, that the Spirit of God is in you, that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are found in you. Nice introduction to the king of Babylon. The king went on to say, Daniel, if you interpret my dream, you shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around your neck, and you'll become number 3 in my kingdom. You see, every time Daniel met with God, heaven opened up its secrets to him and set Daniel up for success. I'm reminded of Amos 3:7 that says, surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without first revealing his plans to his servants, the prophets. You see, people don't decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Keep your appointment with God during this time and into the future, where this mist is going to lift and we're going to come out of this pandemic. Keep your appointment with God in the secret place, because he has plans for you, plans for good and not for evil, plans to give you peace and to give you a future and a hope. Let not your heart be troubled.